Ron Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and this episode I'm super excited about. I know a lot of you guys may have seen some of my videos that I've already had about the vacuum blenders that are going to be coming out on the market later this year, maybe like, I don't know, May, June, July. The first ones are going to start to come in, and then maybe more will come after that. The challenge with that is, number one, they're not available yet, and I wanted to start vacuum blending as soon as I learned about them at the CES trade show, and I saw my first vacuum blender there. Don't fret, the good people at Trivest who make healthy living easy have now come out with a solution for you guys so you could blend in a less air environment using suction instead of vacuum and excluding the air. And to be honest with you, that's what the vacuum blenders do. The vacuum blenders don't really put things under vacuum, because if it did, it'd be like outer space and you'd see your kale floating in your blender and it wouldn't hit the blades. But basically what the vacuum blenders are doing, they're basically just removing a portion of the air inside the carafe so that less oxidative damage happens in the blender when you're blending. And so I'm glad to share with you guys a new improvement to the Trivest Dynablend Clean blender that'll allow you to blend with less air in the carafe. Consequently, it's going to drastically increase certain phytonutrients and other nutrients in your juices or smoothies or whatever you're blending. So here's the thing. The thing is, the Dynablend I like, number one, is because it's called the Dynablend Clean. The Dynablend Clean, they call it clean because, you know, the people at Trivest actually live a healthy lifestyle, the owner anyways, who I know well, and actually he uses the products he creates for the market. So I'm sure this is something that actually he himself is using in his home. But basically the Dynablend allows you to blend your food without any plastic contact, provided you don't glug up and hit the roof of the blender, which is actually plastic. But the whole bottom section of this blender, there's no plastic contact. Other blenders that have a glass carafe may have like a bottom plastic piece or the housing aside from the blade assembly. The Trivest Dynablend Clean has none of this. Basically, they have a tempered glass carafe, which is really nice. And then there's blade assembly. Let me show you guys what it looks like. On the bottom of this carafe is all stainless steel, 100% stainless steel. And then furthermore, they don't even give you kind of like a plastic kind of gasket. They give you actually a silicone gasket that actually seats between the bottom of the tempered glass and the silicone. So your food truly never touches plastic unless you glug it up and it hits the roof for some reason. The other reason why I like this particular blender is because it's a 1.1 horsepower blender. That's actually quite powerful. Now this is not as powerful as one of those Vitamixes or Blendtecs, but it doesn't have that price point either. I found using this in my kitchen for several weeks, you know, it does almost as good as a Vitamix does. I'm not going to say it does as good as a Vitamix, because that'd be lying to you, and I've used this for quite a period of time, and you know, it doesn't grind things up quite as finely, but it does quite a sufficient job. And with this new addition that I'll be showing you guys in a minute, this is the blender that you will want to be using, and actually this is going to take the place of the Vitamix that I've been using to go in my kitchen until the real vacuum blenders come out, because there's some really big advantages to this machine. So anyway, some other features of this machine, industry first. This is the first blender that I'm aware of that actually came with a 10-year warranty. Right, Vitamixes came out with a 7-year warranty, and this unit, Dynablend Clean, came out with a 10-year warranty. And guess what? Now Vitamixes may be copying the Trivest or the Dynablend and come out with a 10-year warranty on their new Vitamix Ascent series machines that still don't have any kind of feature like I'm going to be showing you guys in a second, which really is going to obsolete all the other blenders, including the Vitamixes on the market. No, for me personally, I'd rather have a blender that wasn't quite as powerful but excluded all the air in the carafe than a more powerful blender. And here's the reason why. You could lose significant amount of nutrients. So for example, certain polyphenol antioxidant in blueberries, you will have 2.5 times more of this polyphenol antioxidant if you blend under a vacuum or exclude the air, or exclude, you know, a good percentage of the air in the container. So think about it. Every time you're blending in your Vitamix, and I know you might spend some good money for the Vitamix, you're rapidly, you know, oxidizing whatever you're blending. Because inside the Vitamix, if you look, there's a little vortex going inside the machine. And that's kind of like a tornado that would be in Kansas that would rip up houses, tear off the roofs of Walmarts, and displaces a lot of things. And that's what's happening to all the different valuable phytonutrients inside the blender. Now, it is true that some phytonutrients are more or less damaged by the oxidative vortex that's happening in a Vitamix, and this is totally true. Some nutrients, such as minerals, will probably not even be damaged. And am I saying never blend in your Vitamix because it's useless, you're making something that's worthless? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's still valuable to blend in your Vitamix. If blending in the Vitamix allows you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables than you normally would have eaten, it's way better. But you know, I got into this diet and healthy lifestyle for my health. I almost lost my life. So I want to do everything I possibly can to get the highest quality nutrients, including growing my own food in my backyard to have higher quality produce than money can buy. So I surely wouldn't want to put my high quality produce in a Vitamix to just basically destroy some of the valuable phytochemicals. And it's these valuable phytochemicals may be the ones that I need to fight disease, and it may be the ones you need to fight disease as well, especially if you're in a life or not life situation going through some kind of healing with certain diseases. So yeah, this machine also has a variable speed control, so you can control how fast or how slow you want it. It also has a safety feature that will not allow you to turn the machine on unless the carafe is in place. And it also has 3 pre-programmed cycles, one specifically pulse mode made for blending ripe bananas, which is really nice. No other blender has this feature. Also has a 60-second combo mode, which will basically vary the speeds that you're blending, and a 60-second blend cycle. So I mean, alone, this blender is quite amazing for the price. It's less than half the price of a Vitamix. But now they made it even better. So let me go ahead and show you guys actually what they've come out with. Let me go ahead. This is a brand new unit that I just got. And for a limited time at discountjuicers.com for the next month, we have the exclusive. So you're not going to find this package anywhere else for the next month. So if you want to buy this package, be sure to click the link down in the description below. I'll also put one of the first comments with a link to this package. What you're going to get besides just getting the Dynablend Clean with all its amazing features, including a stainless steel scoop that you could actually push things into the blade instead of a plastic tamper. You're also going to get these guys right here. They may not look too impressive, but what these guys are, these are silicone suction lids. And what these silicone suction lids allow you to do, they allow you to exclude the majority of the air out of the carafe, so you're not going to have all this extra airspace when you're blending. So what will this allow you to do? This will allow you to basically blend in a similar to a vacuum blender, provided you have enough items in there, because you'll be able to suction out all that extra air that the blender is sucking in and is doing all the oxidative damage to your food. So yeah, I'm super excited. So yeah, for a limited time, for the same price of the Dynablend here at Discount Juicers, we're going to include 2 of these guys at the same price for the month of April. And if it's past April, then you may have missed out on the deal. But if you're lucky, maybe I'll continue it. So yeah, check the link down below for that. So I guess with that, I want to go ahead and get blending. I just got these in the mail today. I opened this up on the video for you guys, and I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to blend for the first time using the silicone suction lid for the Dynablend Clean blender. So now the moment I've been waiting for all day is to try out these suction silicone lids on the Dynablend Clean blender to see if I could blend under an oxygen deficient environment with just my food in there. And that's really the power. What you'll notice if you're a chef or even just a regular person like me, you're going to notice when you blend without the extra added air, number one, the flavors are going to pop more, right? In oxidative damage that's happening to your food as you're blending it, the flavors of the food gets diminished, so they don't really taste like much. But today I'll be blending some mint picked out of my very own garden, fresh, and the mint flavor is just going to be really strong and powerful when I'm going to be blending without the extra added air that would normally fill a blender carafe. Another thing you'll notice is that you're going to have kind of more fluffy mixtures when you're blending things with fats. So whether you're blending nuts like I like to do, or whether you like to blend oils into your dressings, right, it's going to fluff up a lot more than if you're just blending it with all the air, because once again, that air is getting in there and doing oxidative damage to your nuts and seeds, right? That's what causes nuts and seeds to go rancid. It's all the extra air. So I really want you guys to, you know, try to exclude all the air as possible. And if you're not going to get a Dynablend, be sure to get one of the vacuum blenders coming out, or minimally try to just, like, you know, seal up your blender carafe tight, and also try to make sure that the whole carafe is filled so that there's very little air space in there. I mean, this is another trick that if you're going to be storing your juices, I recommend filling up, you know, a jar to the brim so it's almost overflowing, so you have no extra headspace of air sitting in there to do the oxidative damage to your foods. I mean, I go out of my way to get the highest quality organic produce and grow my own produce, so I really want to get the highest quality nutrients into me. And now with the Dynablend Clean blender plus the new, alright. So in any case, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what I'll be blending up today. I'm going to be making one of my famous and delicious green smoothies, and to do that, we got just a few ingredients. We got a C2O pure coconut water. I like to use the real coconuts, but when they are not available, I like to get this. This is the HPP, or high pressure processed coconut water that has no heat applied, so it can still be considered raw. They have a short shelf life. I also have 10 ounces of earthbound organic pre-washed spinach. I also have a nice little container here of my own homegrown mint that I just picked out of my garden just minutes ago. And that would make a pretty decent smoothie, but I like to up it to the next level and put additional green powders. My favorite green powder is actually known as the Vitamineral Green Powder by Health Force. It has beneficial probiotics, enzymes, different kinds of green foods, spirulina, algae. It's basically an all-in-one product instead of buying all these things. But the one thing that this doesn't have, one of my favorite things, is actually this stuff right here. It's a Matcha Tea Powder. Matcha Tea Powder, very high in antioxidant potential, can be helpful with many different things. And I think it's sad, you know, when people just use a regular blender and they're buying these expensive bottles of green powders that are like $50 or, you know, $30 for some high quality matcha tea powder, right? Then they put in their blender and they oxidize the heck out of it. So you might have something really good going in because it's processed at low temperature and low heat and all this kind of stuff. But then you put it in your blender, you aerate the heck out of it. You're losing some of those valuable nutrients. Of course, doing that is better than not getting them into you at all, because I'm sure there's some good nutrients left in there. But why not do even better, right? And that's been the whole story of my life, is how can I do whatever I'm doing just a little bit better? And that's why I'm so passionate about making this video for you guys, to show you guys about this new technology now included at Discount Juicers with the Dynablend Clean Blender. Alright, so as good as these two guys are, I always encourage you guys to take something like probiotics. So I take many different probiotics in the form of foods, such as fermented foods, such as sauerkraut, unpasteurized pickles, unpasteurized olives, even things like probiotic powder. So I got the DDS probiotic powder today. And of course, to make this green smoothie taste good, we got 3 frozen bananas here. Hard as rocks. You guys hear that on my head? Hard as rocks. So it takes a really good power blender to grind up those bananas and literally turn that bananas into like a vanilla shake consistency that the Dynablend Clean is going to be amazing at doing. So let's go ahead and first add some of these ingredients to the blender. We're going to go ahead and take off this blender carafe so you guys can see the whole process. First step always when blending is you're going to always want to put in your liquids first. So we got the C2O pure coconut water. So we got the C2O coconut water going right in. So this is like 16.9 ounces or 500 milliliters, and that's a good amount. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the bananas in, and it's always better to just you know, cut the bananas up into little pieces. It's going to make it easier for the blender to do its job. We got 3 bananas. I could put 4 if I wanted a little bit sweeter. If I had some fresh bananas right now, I'd put some frozen with like 1 or 2 fresh as well. And this is just my recipe, and feel free, you don't need to use this exact recipe. I mean, if you don't have bananas and you got apples, hey, use some apples in this. The apples actually will brown really fast under just a standard blender, so it'd be good to do a comparison, and maybe next video I'll do a comparison showing. Let's see, next I think we're going to go ahead and put some of those green powders in. So we got the vitamin mineral green, oops, shake a bunch of that in there. Next we got some of this DDS probiotic powder in there. Got that in there. Next put some matcha tea powder. I don't recommend doing the matcha tea like, you know, late at night. If you're making a smoothie late at night, it might keep you up. Okay, now that we got all our green powders, and these are the ones I'm using, you know, feel free to use the ones you like to use. And next we're going to go ahead and pound in this spinach, 10 ounces of spinach. You know, I like to juice greens normally, but you know, second best after juicing them, because juicing allows you to literally compress these 10 ounces of the spinach greens literally into less than 1 cup of juice, maybe like 3/4 of a cup of juice. All these spinach greens would turn into. But yeah, with the blender, you're just going to get the exact amount with lots of fiber, and hey, fiber is a good thing. And once again, I do want to remind you guys, when blending, you keep the soluble and insoluble fiber. When juicing, you only lose the insoluble fiber, the kind that does not dissolve in water, because when you juice, you keep all that stuff. All right, so as you guys can see, we've got a nice huge carafe here on the Dynablend. Easily fit 10 ounces of the pre-washed, triple-washed spinach here. As you guys can see, we used it all. Now, of course, we're going to go ahead and top this up with my mint on top. Man, this mint smells amazing. All right, so we're putting that all in there. And now, normally, what a normal person would do after they got all the stuff to make their smoothie, right? They just go ahead and put the standard top on the blender. And then they blend it up. The problem with this is that there's all the air still in there. And you know, this top lets air in during the blender process, right? So we're going to throw away this top. We're not going to use it anymore. Let's get that out of here. What we're going to do instead is we're going to get this silicone suction top. This was made specifically with this cutout shape right for the top of the Dynablend, right? And it goes on. Let me make sure I got all this. So it goes on just like that. Look at that. It sits on top. But we're not done yet. More than just the top. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take my fist, and I'm going to fist this thing, man. I'm going to push my fist in here. I'm going to hold up a little flap on here, right? And as I'm pushing down, I'm pushing and excluding the air out, and it's coming out. Then I could put that down, and look at that. Now it stays in place. I don't know if you guys could see that in the video, but this is kind of like a half circle. It goes in, right? And I want to do this even more because there's still a lot of air space. I want to get all the air space out of this carafe. So let's see if I can go down and push even further. I gotta lift it up to get the air out, because as I'm pushing, it wants to get the air somewhere. It goes somewhere, and like, let's see if I can even push more here. As I'm pushing, there's like bubbles coming up from the bottom. All right, let me try this one more time. And if you have a friend, somebody, you know, you could push with 2 hands and have them lift up at the same time. It's hard for me to do it with just 1 hand. Let me see if this fits in there. It doesn't fit in there. All right, wait, vitamin mineral green jar, right? We're going to push with this jar. It displaces more room than my fist in here. And we're going to go ahead and lift this up. Oh man, I got more air out. And I'm pushing this down really hard. This thing's not breaking yet. All right, man. I'm pretty good. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that because the video is only 1D, but my hand could go like in there. Like this displaced a good portion. Look at this. I could put this bowl in here, right? Displaced a good portion of air, and it's fully sealed. Look at that. That's amazing. So this is basically excluding a good percentage. I'd say, I don't know, 20%, 25% of the air. Of course, if your smoothie is almost all the way to the top, you could exclude more air. And of course, if you're not blending that much quantity of stuff, you're still going to exclude a good percentage of air. Next step is we're going to go ahead and put that on the blender. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the combo blend and let the blender do all the work. It's a 60-second combo blend. And here's the thing. When you're blending under vacuum or blending when you're excluding all the air, the cycle time is not quite as important. You know, I'm always concerned about blending and not to overblend any mixture, because the longer the blender runs, the more the oxidative damage is happening because of all that air that's in the carafe. Under this situation, since I've excluded at least 20%, maybe 25% of the air in there, there's going to be much less oxygen floating around in there to do all the damage. So let's go ahead and just hit this, turn this on here. We're ready, hit this combo mode, and we're just going to go ahead and let the blender run and do its thing. I like how it turns on, it shuts off, then it turns on to suck it in more, it shuts it off, because otherwise you get that activation. It's just turning on and turning off. Alright, so the 60-second cycle is up. Basically, it's blended it all up, and as you guys can see on the top there, looks like a lot of the stuff on the top didn't get blended. Basically because it can't funnel down just due to the shape of this. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and basically tap this down. Leads, get down in there, man. Alright, we're going to maybe shake this up a little bit. And look at that, man. I could shake it up and it just top stays stuck in there. It's silicone suction power. Alright, we're going to shake this up. See if we can get some of those greens to get in there. Yeah, some of these greens are actually stuck in between the suction top. They're just stuck with suction. Alright, let's see. Get down in there, man. Alright. So this is a little bit of a challenge here. Once again, you know, this Dynablend Clean is under $200. So you're going to have the benefits of vacuum blending without the $500 or $600 price tag that these guys are going to cost once they come out. And once again, now with the silicone lid, none of your produce will ever touch any kind of plastic if you guys are concerned about plasticizers, BPAs, or other potential endocrine disruptors. Alright, so I think I tried to get like most of the greens off the lid and stuck. I think I got most of them in there, so now we're just going to go ahead and do the manual blend. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn on slow. It's on slow speed, crank it up to high. 23,000 RPMs at the peak there. Looks like we got a nice blend going on right now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn this off. As you guys can see, we got a nice blend in there. Look at this. Tip it upside down, nothing's coming out. This is super suctioned in there. And very little airspace, because I mean, I don't know if you can't see that from the top there. But if I'm looking into it, like a good about circle in the middle, about 50% of the area of the lid is actually into the liquid. So we have very little airspace left in the container to do that oxidative damage. Now to get this lid off, you can't just pull this off, right? It doesn't pull off easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take your finger underneath there and listen carefully. Whoa! That's suction. That's the vacuum power happening in the Dynablend Clean blender. Alright, now man, can't wait to try my smoothie, and I want to pour it out for you guys so you guys can see the amazing consistency. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys this consistency here. Now, I mean, one of the main things with vacuum blending, under true vacuum blending, basically, there's going to be virtually no air bubbles in whatever you're blending, right? In this situation, you know, let's see how much air bubbles we got. I mean, I do see some air bubbles. It's significantly less air bubbles than, say, in a regular blender without this situation. I mean, you guys heard the vacuum on it when I took this lid off. As you guys, I could see a little bit of bubbles, but hardly any. So that means, you know, when you blend and there's air bubbles inside whatever you blended, all those little air bubbles pop, and they do the oxidative damage as your mixture is sitting. So if you ever made a blended smoothie and you drink it, and right after you make it, you taste it, and it tastes pretty good, right? And then you leave it for like an hour or two, and you come back and it tastes like nasty, it tastes way different. That's because all the oxidative damage. The cool thing is when you're blending in this situation where you're excluding more of the air inside, which will reduce the percentage of oxygen overall in the container, you're going to get less of the oxidative damage over time, so whatever you're blending is going to stay fresher longer. That being said, I always encourage you guys to blend only right before you're going to be drinking it. So if you need to make a smoothie at work, for example, don't make your smoothie in the morning and take it to work. Bring your blender to work and blend just like I did, so you'll have the highest level of nutrients in there, because these nutrients may play a difference from good health or not. Alright, so the other thing you'll notice under vacuum blending is that the colors are going to be a lot vibrant and more brighter, because, you know, the oxidative damage, if you cut open an apple, it turns brown. That's the damage that's occurring to some of the nutrients in the apple. In here, it's not going to turn as quickly because we've excluded more of the oxygen. In general, also, as I said before, it's going to taste better. So let me go ahead and taste this mixture. Wow. Amazing. So the flavor is amazing. I will be the first to say that, I'm used to using a Vitamix, and the Vitamix does get some of the greens to a finer consistency. If you did run this blender for longer, it would probably chop up things more. But still, this is not a Vitamix. If you're looking for a Vitamix, hey, wait for like the TriBest vacuum blender coming out later. That's going to have the power of the Vitamix with the vacuum blending. Meanwhile, for the rest of us that want to only blend in glass, exclude as much air as possible at an affordable price, the Dynablend Clean with its 2 silicone suction lids for the month of April at discountjuicers.com is your ticket for sure. I'm going to be basically putting this in the place of the Vitamix so I could suction out all the air out of the different blended salads and soup recipes that I make. And if I find or learn or discover anything else, I'll be sure to let you guys know about it. And if you guys get one of these guys, let me know what you've experienced and how you're using it to better your nutrition. So if you guys enjoyed this episode learning more about the Dynablend Clean blender, I would encourage you to support me in my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue to make these educational videos on YouTube to share what I've learned as well as all the knowledge I have about health and wellness, because I have been on this journey now for the last 22 years since 1995, because I almost lost my life when I was younger. So I'm really serious about my health, and your purchase goes to help support me so I can continue to make the videos on YouTube. So I thank you guys in advance for those of you guys that will purchase from me, and I want to thank you guys for those of you guys that have purchased from me in the past. If you guys enjoyed this episode with the Dynablend Clean with the new silicone suction lids, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If I get a lot of thumbs up, I'll come back and revisit this. And once I play with this more, because this is the first day I got them, and they're now available at discountjuicers.com, I'll make more videos about what I've learned and what I discovered over playing with this, because I come up with a lot of really cool things that I get to do with some of these cool toys. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified by new and upcoming episodes I have coming out about every 5 to 7 days. Trust me, as soon as the vacuum blenders come on the market, right, I will have a video on it before anybody else in the United States of America, because I'm getting sample units hopefully within the next month here, and I'll get to playing with them, and I'll be doing unboxings and show you guys my honest opinions about them. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 450 videos on this YouTube channel at this time, comparing all the different juicers and blenders so that you guys get the best appliance for you that'll allow you to eat more fruits and vegetables in your life, because they are simply the best foods on the entire planet. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.